Hey, what's up guys? I'm here with the Anabolic Aliens, and today we're going to show you how to spot safely on some of the most popular exercises in the gym.
Spotting is crucial to adding size and gaining strength.
And this goes for anyone at any experience level. Spotting will always help you get stronger and better in the gym.
Alright guys, so the first exercise we're going to go over is the barbell bench press. Now not everyone utilizes a lift off, but if you do, it's very important that you lift off evenly. And what I mean by that is, some people they'll lift off mixed grip. This is the most common way I see people lift off, and they do it unevenly. One side's up, one side's down, it's not even over the chest. What I recommend you doing is you grab the barbell, double overhand, or even put it on top of your elbows. And what you're going to do is lift off, bring it over the chest to take away any shoulder strength needed to be used to do the lift off. What you're doing is taking that away so they're fresh to go and ready for the bench press. Now the actual spot, they're going to come down. You're going to have your fingers slightly under the barbell, but they're not touching yet. He's going to come up slowly, and see, you do not help. Even if they hit a sticking point, you do not help until they have downward motion. People like to bust through sticking points, and if you help too early, you're literally stealing their gains away from them. They have to work through that sticking point. You do not want to spot until you see downward movement. And when you do happen to have to spot, you slowly start with one finger. You're not going to grab the bar and pull up quick. You're going to start with slowly one finger and add strength as needed. And that's what's going to help them gain their strength and gain their muscle size by utilizing the spot.
All right, guys, so Mike just showed you how to spot the barbell bench press, and now I'm going to show you how to spot the dumbbell bench press. And right now we're going to assume that Mike is an experienced dumbbell bench presser, so we're going to show you how to spot him. So if this weight was super heavy and Mike needs a little help out of the bottom, what we're going to do is put our hands underneath his elbows and give him that little bit of push he needs to fully extend the dumbbells and begin his set. And the only time we want to touch his elbows during the set is when he's really fatiguing. So if he has a grinder rep, we get right underneath and we push him right through the hole. Now, if Mike was a beginner lifter, this is the issue. They don't have the stabilizer strength built up yet. So if we were to push on his elbows, so we're going to show you an example, this is what could happen to a beginner. The dumbbells could collapse inwards. So instead, when we're working with a beginner, we want to insert our hands right where their wrists are and guide them through the range of motion to prevent the dumbbells from potentially falling on their face or just losing complete control of the dumbbells and then falling on the floor or wherever else and possibly risking injury. So again, only when we need to help them, we get them out of the hole by grabbing their wrists. And those are the two ways that you want to spot the dumbbell bench press.
The next exercise is going to be the barbell back squat. Now this is a very important exercise to make sure that you guys are spotting correctly, because number one, you want to make sure that this barbell does not fall on top of you. So if he's squatting a lot of weight, obviously be a bit more safe, maybe even have some power racks down, because if this barbell slides off of his back and lands on your quads, could probably snap your femurs in half. It has happened in the past, so be very careful when you're doing this. Always be safe. Now, as Mike performs his squats, he's going to go up and down just like this. Now, I don't personally like to be in his space the whole time he's doing the exercise. It might distract him from his movement. I want to make sure that he can go up and down and do his squat. And I know Mike, I know what he's capable of, so I know how many reps he might be able to get. So when he starts to get towards his max rep range, that's when I'm going to start to come in and take a look. And if he gets stuck like this, I'm going to get right in there like I'm doing a squat. I'm going to put my chest on his back. I'm going to grab his chest like this, and I'm locking him into me. I'm going to prevent spinal flexion. So I'm locking him into me, and then I'm pushing through my legs. My legs are a lot stronger than my upper body. So if I were to come in, come down, Mike. If I were to come in and then try to lift him like this, I'm going to end up throwing my back out, especially with Mike because he squats over 400 pounds. So once again, Mike, come down, watch him. As soon as he gets stuck, I'm going to step in right away. I'm going to push through my legs and lock in nice and tight with his upper body.
All right, guys, the next exercise we're going to go over is the barbell overhead press. Now, this is much different than dumbbell use because you're not having to factor in the stabilization. So what we're going to do is get close enough, and he's going to overhead press, and then he's going to come back down. Now you notice it's a smooth bar path, so what we're going to do for our spotting processes, we're going to be right under the elbows. Now when he struggles, you'll notice you have to really push up on the actual elbows. So what we're doing is actually helping that weight get up there. And when he comes back down, we have to make sure he's coming down slowly, because now what he's using as stabilization is his core. So if he loses balance, he could fall backwards or forwards. And that's why we're close enough to hold on to those elbows, but also be aware of how his body movement is going to go if he's leaning forward or backward, because by controlling his elbows, we're able to control his actual body position.
Now I'm going to show you the dumbbell version of the shoulder press. I'm going to follow the same principles that you guys saw for the dumbbell version of the barbell press. So number one, Mike's an experienced lifter. I'm going to step in. I'm going to watch him do a set. So come up and come down. And then as he starts to come down and he's struggling, I can come in and spot that as well. But if he's already struggling on the way down, I know that's my cue to get ready to spot him. So he's going to come up as high as he can. Then as soon as I notice the dumbbells start to come down a little bit, I'm going to step in and grab those elbows, and I'm going to get him to the top of the movement, and then let go and let him control the negative as much as possible. Now, obviously, if he's failing, I can step in and control the negative as well. Just don't take the negative away from the dude lifting unless you absolutely have to. Now, if Mike was a beginner, we're going to step in and grab his wrist for the same reason that you guys did on the dumbbell bench press. I want to control the range of motion and let Mike know that he's supposed to bring the dumbbells out and then in on the way up. A lot of beginners come straight down like this, and that puts unwanted tension in the wrist and in the elbow. So the exercise isn't supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like this. Come out, all the way up, all the way down. Another thing too, guys, when you're spotting the wrists, be careful you don't squeeze the wrists so hard that they can't even hold the dumbbells. That happens sometimes. It's supposed to be a loose grip, and you're more pushing with your arms, and you're pushing with this part of your hand. You're not squeezing them as hard as possible because you're going to make them drop the dumbbells. Mike, put the dumbbells down for a second. And lastly, guys, the reason why you want to guide a beginner with their wrists is because if they fail, remember, their stabilizers aren't as strong as ours, as experienced lifters. If his shoulder gives out and he falls back like this, you get a serious rotator cuff injury. You definitely don't want that to happen. So always pay attention to what's going on with the guy or woman that you're spotting.
All right, guys, now I'm going to show you how to spot a curl, and we're talking about any kind of curl. We can apply this principle to any type of curl that you do inside of the gym. So as Scott's doing his reps, and this goes for any experienced lifter, he's going to go up, he's going to go down. And now, if at any point he starts to struggle on the way up, and as a grinder, what we want to do is apply even pressure, either on the inside or outside of his hands and his grip, and just apply enough pressure just to get him up for the rest of the rep. Now, on the negative part, we want to let them control it as much as they can. So on the way down, we'll release our pressure and let him control the weight, because that's where we're breaking down the most muscle fibers. So again, even pressure on the way up just enough so they can get the weight up, and then let them control the negative on the way down for maximum muscle growth and tension. So you can apply this principle to anything. So if you're doing one-arm dumbbell curls, apply that pressure just to get the palms up, and then let them control it on the way down. So use this in the gym to maximize your bicep growth.
The last exercise we're going to show you how to properly spot someone on is a dip. Now, this is actually a really interesting exercise to spot on because it can go both ways. The spotter can do all of the work, or the person actually doing the exercise can participate as well, and I'll explain to you what I mean. So Eric's going to jump up into the fully extended position at the top. He's going to cross his legs just like this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be holding his legs, but I'm not going to be relying on my upper body to hold him in place. I'm going to grab his ankles, and I'm going to actually push into him with my upper body. And now I can take away a lot of the weight of his body weight just by doing this. So Eric, go down. So when he goes down, I can either choose to come down with him like this and then bring him back up like that. And then what's also happening here is as Eric goes down, if he gets stuck on the way up, if he wants to spot himself, he can actually push into me with his feet and then get himself back to the top as well. So he can self-spot with this exercise, or it can be up to me to guide him through the entire process. So Eric, go down, and as the trainer, I can just grab his legs and I can bring him up just like this. So make sure you guys communicate to see what his goal is. Maybe he wants to do it on his own and push himself as hard as possible. Not everyone has access to a dip station where you can adjust the weight and displace your own body weight. So this is a really easy way to be able to do more dips, especially if you're a beginner and you're trying to do dips on your own. This is going to get you there and get you as strong as possible. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned a lot about how to spot someone safely. But just keep in mind, no matter how safely you spot someone, if they don't have proper form on any of these exercises, they can still get injured. So make sure you're also being a bit of form police while you're spotting.
If you guys have any ideas for future collaborations, leave them in a comment down below.
Thanks everyone for checking out our channel.